Good morning, everyone. Oh, your unicorn therapist is in. Um, Today's Monday, but surprisingly, I don't feel dragged down or anything like that. I actually feel great this morning. I hope y'all are feeling well too. Um, and I say that even though I have like a desk full of text documents I'm sorting through. Ooh, that's going to be another thing for later. Um, So let's get into it. Announcements. I will be busy next week, but I will be here supposedly, unless I am too dragged down to stream. As usual, remember your limits. Um, as for this week's announcements, nothing major. Of course, we're going to sort through Therapy Simulator. If you can hear the desktop audio, that's the quirky music you're hearing right now in the background. Um, and of course, question of the day: what are you tolerating? Um, I funny thing, I came up with that one after seeing the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm not a I'm not a sports person, but what got me interested in watching the halftime show is because it was so emotionally charged in a community for some reason. And that's why I also put in the title belief systems, because that's something I want to talk about and address today. And we're going to address that along with the question of the day, because I think they are linked because, well, they're linked for me at least. They might be linked for you because we're tolerating several things in our lives that irk us. And I want to make sure that we're addressing those things in our lives, because do we really need to tolerate them? Or can we set up some healthy boundaries, or even more, cut it off in general, like, no, we're not doing this anymore. So I want to address that. Um, if you're in chat, feel free to tune in, talk about the talk about the issues, or if you're just catching me after the fact that I did this video, feel free to comment on YouTube, because the video is going to load up on YouTube. If it doesn't load up on YouTube, please let me know, because for some reason I did YouTube live last week and the video didn't upload live, which was crazy. So please let me know if that's working out, or I'll check right now. Matter of fact, let me see. I'll be live on YouTube. Um, yep, we're live, but the title's different. So I'll manage that when time comes. I'm still trying to get used to doing things on YouTube. Gotten better at Twitch to some degree, but YouTube I'm still working on when it comes to trying to edit, put videos out, clip things. Oh, and we're clipping now. I'm adding some clip videos every now and again on important topics that I address. One thing we addressed was ethics on Twitch, that we're bound to as mental health professionals in this field, because mental health advocates, they have their own thing what they're doing on Twitch. Praise your work, but as mental health providers, we have things we have to address when we're online and put disclaimers out, and that's listed in ethics, as you've seen in one. I also talk about leading questions with compassion after playing Nikkei, um, which is a subject we can talk more about if you have requests. By the way, another thing, going to make a Discord. And what I want to do with this, accomplish with this Discord, is have more accessibility, have people that come in and want to talk about what they want to talk about. They want to vent. They want a safe zone. They want to have community, because there's a lot of community Discords, and I decided I want to have one as well. And I want to make sure this Discord is also given the opportunity to have y'all voices be heard. Maybe y'all have some things y'all want me to talk about online, which should be awesome, because I always like to hear what y'all want to talk about or want to hear. Um, and I have talked with some people in other Twitch streams who have ideas about mental health that I want to address as well. And I want them to address them with me, because we want to give more accurate information, something that we can't exactly give in a mental health awareness stream. Um, don't get me wrong. Great that y'all do a job out there with addressing mental health concerns, but there are some do's and do nots that come up that can only be addressed by people who work behind the scenes. Um, and I mainly talk about diagnosis, because that's something that seems to run rampant in a mental health community, um, about certain diagnoses or beliefs of things they have, but yet there are some things that just can't be an official diagnosis that's not in DSM-5, and I want to address those things because it it makes a dangerous rhetoric. And colleagues of mine have also felt the same when it comes to that dangerous rhetoric that comes up when people go, "Oh, I have this," and they read some article by Joe someone who isn't a mental health professional, but just is someone who might who might not be in who might not even be in a field, and or have been defamed in the field. That's actually how the conversation about vaccinations and autism came up, because of a certain figure who put out faulty information, had their license revoked, and and although they still try to make these claims, there's nothing that there's nothing that backs it up. Not only that, but some of their research was crooked. Like he experimented and lied about certain children in his care. Um, Andrew, I forgot his name. uh, Andrew Wakefield. That's it, Andrew Wakefield. I laugh because uh, they got him listed as an English fraudster. That's funny. Um, and he's still living. He's one of the people who started this anti-vaccine scare, and I don't. And for mental health, I don't want that happening. I don't want the next big mental health scare coming out on TikTok and or another platform, and people insisting like this is a thing, this is it, and I have it, and most other people have it, and this organization don't want you to know about. No, we want to make sure you're safe. We want to make sure you have accurate information, and we don't, and we want you to understand how diagnosing works. A lot of time we're not enthusiastic to do that because we don't want to stigmatize you with labels and such. So we're going to talk more about that in the near future if it becomes something highly requested. But right now, what we're addressing is what we tolerate, belief systems, and that's related to Super Bowl halftime show. Um, we're going to do that while playing this game. I'm dragging on because I dread starting this, but I promised we were going to do it. So let's get into it. This is Therapy Simulator, and it's going to mostly talk about. Actually, I don't know where this is going to go. Quite frankly, I'm very scared about where this is going to go. Like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what the gameplay is like. I've been told it's using AI slop, and I'm afraid of what I'm going to find and rage about, because one thing I do tolerate is terrible mental health advice, and I shouldn't. I'm quick to correct, but I don't attack. I don't say, "Hey, you're effing this up for everyone." Like, this is not how it goes, which I should be more aggressive about, in my opinion. But it's one thing that I do tolerate, and I've been thinking about addressing it more. Let's start new game and we'll get into it. So, oh wow, go to your office and prepare for the day. Do I use? Yeah, I use these keys. I wonder, yeah, I can go to settings. Let's make these sound effects a little more. All right. So let's see. Where's my office? They don't say what my office is. Oh, okay. Suppose this is a big round thing here. All right. Turn on the computer, assign patients to the calendar, and start the day. Okay. In my opinion, this should have been done before. Johnny Sims, imposter syndrome. Nathan Jones, identity crisis. Let's go ahead and get them ASAP. Escape the stand-up. Okay. So I gotta invite them in for a session. Yeah, 2 sessions for today. Have a seat across from the patients. Talk to your patient about the problems. You can treat them however you like. Remember, your decision will matter. Couldn't be any more true enough. Okay. All right. Let's talk. I've been a doctor, a police officer, and a construction worker, but nothing feels right. Sounds like you're searching for where you truly belong. Stop whining and pick something already. What do you think is driving you to keep changing careers? Okay, so far I find this okay. I know what answer I'm gonna give, and that's because, as I talked about previous week, you lead with compassion. And how you lead with compassion is straight away from interrogation words like what, when, where, why. Number 2 definitely is not where you're going, because that's aggressive. And not only that, but you're not being of any help, because you're telling them you're not coming from a place of compassion and understanding. You're just telling them what to do, and you're devaluing their feelings in that matter. So it sounds like you're searching for where you truly belong. Why this is correct is leading from that place of compassion. It shows where that you're listening, and also paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is your best friend when it comes to therapy. If you're a therapist, paraphrase is your best friend. If you're even a basic person that's trying to get some listening skills, paraphrasing is your best friend. You want them to know that you're hearing them, but also identifying with them. Sounds like you're just searching for where you truly belong. I guess I just feel like I'm pretending in every job. Huh. Feeling like a fraud doesn't mean you are one. What would you feel more authentic? What would help you feel more authentic in your work? You're being ridiculous. Everyone feels unsure sometimes. Number 3 cut out for obvious reasons. Number 2 is not my style because the what phrasing. And not only this, but this is my first time seeing this client. What we don't want to do is problem solve, because if you're just seeing a client first time, this is the thing you're going to do. You're going to assess them most of the time. And thank goodness this thing isn't time, because I want to address these things one by one. Your first session, you're going to be assessing them most of the time. And there is this technique in this book called, let me switch to the whole screen. There's this technique in a book called Wading Through the Minefield. And it's from a book called 40 Things Every Counselor Therapist Should Know. Which one of them is. And in that book, you're just wading the minefield is just pretty much having casual conversation, not hitting anything triggering, not going to any details that might set off any alarms, just a casual conversation. And so in this casual conversation, you're going to ask things that are basically shallow. So what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Is this your first time in seeing a mental health therapist? And if it's not, how do you feel about the past? Is there something you didn't like? Are there things you did like? So wading the minefield is very effective when it comes to trying to understand a person and get to know them. Because how would you feel if you come in first session and already they're trying to throw answers at your face like, oh, have you tried this? Excuse me. Oh, have you tried this? Maybe this. But they haven't heard you out, and they haven't heard what you have tried, or rather what you haven't tried, or things that have popped up in the past for them. So we're going to keep on, I don't know why I keep going to that. We're going to keep on going to just getting to know them. And feeling like fraud doesn't mean you are one. I'm offering compassion. I'm hearing them out. I'm also reflecting a bit because they said they feel like they're pretending. I wouldn't let them get away with that. Feel like they're pretending. Like I like reflect with something like, that must be hard for you, and upsetting, or that must be saddening. I throw a real feeling in there, because feel like isn't them feeling anything. It's a belief. You can substitute that for an actual belief system and actually see it. See, I guess I just believe I'm pretending in every job. If I'm able to do that, that means the sentence isn't, that it doesn't make sense in the way of feelings. So we want to get to actual feelings. I don't know if this game will allow me to do that. I don't know if it'll allow me to use actual techniques. That's the only thing I'm having right now that's Bothering me is like it seems like we're doing paraphrase and reflecting. We're not using actual techniques. But hey, um, I don't know who the developer is. I don't know how much experience they have with being actual behind the desk. So they're doing their best. So let's offer them that compassion. Thank you. I need to hear that from someone. See, they needed to hear that from someone. Let me move my box so I can appear in the corner and I'm not blocking anything. Okay. So thank you. I need to hear that from someone. So they're stating they're stating an they stated a need. I'll ride on that too. So it's thank you. I need to hear that someone. Okay, so apparently it doesn't seem like there's other people in your life that's offering this compassion, or it doesn't seem like you have a support that's helping you see this. Tell me more about your life. Again, because first session, we're still assessing. Every time I start feeling competent, I doubt myself completely. Does this pattern appear in other areas of your life too? Let's identify one specific moment when that doubt starts creeping in. Maybe you doubt yourself because you know you're actually failing. The third one's eliminated for maybe it's not so obvious reasons, but there isn't a belief that you're failing when it comes to therapists, I should say. Therapy, as I should say. Because you're going to experience times where you're either having a lot of progress or you're having a little progress. But hey, you're having progress. And that's what's important. Because not everyone is on this crazy comparison clock where, oh, I need to be like this. I need to be like this like everyone else in society. That's a recipe for failure if you're talking about trying to be like everyone else. Because it ignores your individuality, and it ignores what you're personally going through, because there might be different factors that affect how you get employed or how you are treated in society next to another person. And so like people say, everybody's journey is different, and you got to take that in literal stride. Everyone's journey is different. So why compare yours next to the next person who doesn't know your life? So by that, we're eliminating number 3. I want to 1 and 2 seem one seems to be broad. Does it pair other areas of your life too? It now let's ask a closed question. Yes or no? Yes or no question. So those little binary closed questions are okay at times, but in this case, first time meeting this person, we want to know more about them. So let's ask them. Let's identify one specific moment when that doubt starts creeping in. Let's zone in on something. When someone compliments our work, I assume they're just being nice. Oh, a lot of people relate to this one. And it's how should I say this? When someone has this thought, they're coming from a place from insecurity. Um, they believe people are going playing by a certain role, just be nice. That's why they're doing it. It has nothing to do with my actual work or my worth. Number two is going to be eliminated because who are we to make that assumption that their work is mediocre? They might be great. They might be the best damn worker ever. They never said that they were a terrible worker across those three fields, nor did they say they were horrible. So who are we to make that assumption? Your accomplishments are real even if you can't see them yet. That doesn't vibe with me. And this is why. Because in this case, this person lacks confidence. And so they might be looking at that as just a little source of me just telling them that. So we're going to question their reality. What evidence do you have they're not being genuine? You're right. I should look at the facts objectively. There you go. Now, just because he's liking these answers doesn't mean that this is going to go this way in an actual therapy session. He could have elaborated more and talked about an actual person that didn't compliment them one time, or did compliment them one time, or complimented someone else. Or they could have related this something back to, well, you know how people do this, and you know they're just programmed to do that. They could have taken it 100 different ways and say, oh, you're right. But in our case, we're going to let this roll because, you know, this game isn't exactly accurate. Maybe there's hope for me to change this pattern. Keep track of your wins no matter how small. Hey, that matches what we were talking about earlier. Like, there's no, like, failure in therapy. There's progression. There's little progression. Even reflection on no progression is something in itself. 2 is out of the question because it sounds like you're being a narcissistic asshole rather than their provider. 3 is a possibility because you can be supportive. They sound like they don't have that kind of support in their life. And you can come from a genuine place at times like this, like dropping the veil for a bit. And we got to be careful with this, by the way, because part of it is called countertransference, which is you're projecting feelings of seeing the client a certain way personally. And so be careful with that part. So we're going to give them that little advice. Keep tracking their wins no matter how small. I'll see you next week with my progress. So I believe I stand up. And there goes my 9 o'clock. The next part is progress. And I was saying, what the hell is this? I almost lost my composure completely there. What the hell is this on my couch? So we're going to talk to my 10 o'clock. This is my 10 o'clock. I wish I got $200 for a session. Okay. So already here, there's something I want to address. I'm going to assume this is a mask. And I would politely ask, sir, can you remove your mask just for a moment for identity purposes? Or say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, is that you? I'm going to need to see your face right quick. Because one thing you don't want to do is jeopardize their secrecy, their confidentiality, by talking to someone just came in your office a horseman. So you're going to have to do this every time they decide to do this. Because One day, it might not be them under their horse mask. Like, hey, procedure, Mr. Jones, please remove the mask for a second. Okay, you can put it back on if you want to. I understand it's some type of comfort for you. So that's first and foremost. Identity crisis. How are you getting this information even though this is the first meeting? That's what I want to know. Unless this isn't the first meeting for them. Let's get into it. Mm-hmm. Nobody cared who I was until I put on a mask. I'm sure they didn't. That's pathetic. Hiding behind a costume to feel important. Dismissing number one. It's judgmental. It's not, you're not hearing them out. So let's go to 2. Why do you think the mask changed how people treated you? It sounds like you've been feeling invisible for a long time. Again, number 2 is leading with interrogation word. Why? Why do you think the mask changed how people treat you? And we're coming from a place we don't even know if that's accurate. They might. People probably haven't treated him differently. Maybe they have. He is wearing a horse mask. But maybe he have a great support system and they probably just question him about the mask or treat him a certain way. It's hard to say. But I know that maybe he's coming from a place where he's unseen. Nobody cared who I was, so I put on the mask. It sounds like you've been feeling invisible for a long time. Simple. Like I said, go back to paraphrase and reflection. We have a summary there of what they're saying. We have a feeling. Invisible can be a feeling. So let's go with that. I guess I just wanted someone to notice me for once. Okay. Dismissing 1 because again, it's harsh. We're not listening to them. This one I like. Wanting to be seen as a completely normal human need. Because we're going to needs now. We're going to needs. When I want to talk about a client or anything constructive, we go into needs. And sometimes simple statements like that go into needs. Not only that, but it's generalizing. Sometimes generalizing can be bad. Because in this case, he doesn't feel seen. So generalize him as anyone else. Actually, turn that thinking around. Generalizing him might actually do some good because he might feel like a person. But sometimes it can actually explode in our face because there are some people that want to feel special. They want to feel like an individual. And so sometimes generalization, it might, forgot to put it back on the gameplay. Y'all forgive me for that. Sometimes, well, you get what I'm saying. Sometimes generalization can blow up in our faces or support. It depends on how we're taking it. What could you do to feel noticed without wearing the mask? That's going back to interrogation. Not only that, but we're also going to problem solving. First session, let's wade the battlefield. Let's navigate the minefield. Let's not get into the particulars of what can we do yet. So we're going to go with number 2. Thanks. Sometimes I feel like I'm crazy for feeling this way. Of course you're not crazy because people want to be noticed. People want to feel a belonging. It's It's right there on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. People people want to people want a place where they can be accepted. Kind of like that Cheers theme song. Is it Cheers? Um, Everyone wants a place where they belong. They know your name. I don't know my. I don't know my. I don't know my sitcoms well. Okay, but yes, he feels crazy. He feel like he's crazy because he feels this way. This mask makes me feel powerful, like I'm someone worth noticing. What activities make you feel confident when you're not masked? Let's again go into the interrogation realm, but at the same time we're asking about his hobbies. But we're asking without the mask. I don't think you're ready for that. You need a mask to feel honestly just say we're putting in our opinion, not fair to them, not something someone want to hear. Is the power you feel real or just an escape? There's something wrong with this, even though it doesn't seem like it. It's kind of leading. Some therapists or mental health providers might disagree. If you disagree, holler out in the comments and chat. I'm open to opinions, but from my perspective, that aura is what's got me. Is the power you feel real? I'll stop there. Is the power you feel real? Because if we say or, we turn into like a binary question. Because they either say, like, is it real or just escape? And they either have one, they'll either say real or escape. But if you just ask, is that power you feel real? They might say yes or no. Well, and most often they're going to say, well, and then elaborate a little. So make sure you're not phrasing your questions in a way that's going to cause them to just be like and or. Because give them room to answer. Because you don't want to be leading. So I want to address the mass, but then I don't want to address the mass. So one and three are my toss ups. As my own opinion, as a therapist, I'd go with one because I want to know more about the life, and we're waiting the minefield. I used to enjoy painting, but nobody ever cared about that. Painting sounds meaningful. Maybe you should share it with others. No one ever cared about that. He already mentioned that. Would you consider showing your art to a small group? Problem solving. Again, try to keep yourself in problem solving. Of course, somebody cares. You have no right to say number three. One is, I hate that three, like one of these is always obviously the wrong answer. Um, this is tricky because they always say, but nobody ever cared about that. My approach to that would brush off the painting all the general like, well, now together like, oh, you enjoy painting, you, like sounds like you're talented. Um, is there a reason you believe no one cared? I would want to approach it like that. What gives them an idea of people didn't care? Did they Was it at a public show? Was it at something in college? Where did you get this idea that no one cared about your art? Is there somewhere that this feeling came from, rather? because we're straying away from where. Is there a reason you believe this? No one cared. Because you never know. People might have had an actual interest in art. And his ideal might be caring is that, oh, you want to buy my art. Or caring might be, oh, you want to take this home, or you want to compliment it. That might be caring for them. So I would ask, is there a place this caring has come from? This belief that caring is coming from. So these questions don't vibe with me. These answers don't vibe with me, rather. So would you consider showing your art to a small group? Yeah, starting small sounds like something I could manage. Okay. I'm scared. Well, maybe this kept me find myself. Number 3 is obviously eliminated. Try not to mess up like everything else, because that's discouraging. You're implying that their efforts have been something of their fault. They don't need to hear that. Take it one step at a time. You can do this. Again, coming off as genuine, coming from my own perspective and belief, and counter-transference again. I'm being supportive, but I'm also coming from a belief system that they can do this based on how I feel about them. Well, number 1 does the same. You've made real progress today. I'm proud of you. So it's a toss-up, rather. You can either come off as supportive, as well as telling them to progress, or acknowledging them for their progression and coming from a vulnerable place and you're proud of them. I'm going to go with 1 because it's simply what I do as a therapist. Thank you. I'll see you next week with hope. Sometimes you will have people who are not scheduled to arrive at your door. You can invite them inside for a session. Oh, that sounds fun. I've had this happen. $200 per session. I wish I was. Oh, is this? Okay, let's see what we got here. I will see you now. Okay, close the door behind me. Remember confidentiality, people. Let's talk. Everything feels the same every day. I just can't stand it anymore. Let's talk about insurance first. Like, have you done the intake packet? Can you tell me how do you know their name? It's not like you asked. Let's go over my contract, things like that. My policy, my consultation fees, if there are any, my process of how this is going to go. These are all things that happen before we get into problems. Just to be realistic with you, I hope that people don't think that someone just comes in your office and sits down. Everything feels the same every day, and I just can't stand it anymore. When did you first know this pattern of boredom started? Is it boredom? She didn't say boredom. What's one small thing you could try doing differently this week? Problem solving. Don't do it. Just like that, you're already setting yourself up for failure because you're not understanding where she's coming from. What are the feelings behind this? Sounds like you need a more exciting life than Netflix marathons. Oh, damn. Now you're just being a dick. So, number 3 is the obvious toss away. Number 2, we're going to stray away from because, hey, let's paraphrase and reflect. Are we listening to them? Let's do that. When do you first know it's better board on the starting? Wait, navigate that minefield. Get to know them. And again, if you're not a therapist, fine. Use these skills with other people too. Let them know you're hearing them. If your friend says they feel as if though if they believe that they're in a slump, hey, is there a reason you feel that way? It sounds like you're on hard times right now. Is there something that happened? And then after a few things, like, hey, is there something I can do as a friend? Is there something I can do as someone to support you? Don't get quick into like problem solving and telling them what to do, because they need to be heard first. I'm not sure. Maybe a few months ago when work got slow. Let's make it a list of 3 things you used to enjoy. Are they actually use that technique? I actually like that. Like, not like it wasn't there before, but hey, damn. At least we're getting to somewhere. That uncertainty is normal when we're exploring what's really different, what's really happening. That uncertainty is normal when we're exploring what's really happening. But what's really happening? Like, that's not fair for us to say. So basically, you ran out of things to do at work. This kind of sounds like a dick answer. Because she didn't say that. She just said work got slow. This could have been a somewhat fair paraphrasing question, honestly. But mostly I would want to explore, hey, is there, what do you mean by gotten slow? Did it go in a slump? Did it like you get less work? Or did something happen in the office? Like, let me know what happened. Tell me more about that. Sometimes you just need to ask, tell me more about that. So we're flying blind with this one. Number 1 is problem solving. This is the first, we just literally met this walk in. I don't know anything about her. Or so I assume. I know nothing about her. 2 is generalization. But what do we portray as what is really happening? 3, it's not fair. So I'm at a loss here, y'all, because all 3 of these seem like we're gauging into something without really understanding her. Please don't do that. It is fair to ask, tell me, to just say, tell me more about that. Or can you elaborate some? Like, because right now we're flying with little information and we're trying to help her. And that's not fair. I'm going to generalize it with 2. I guess I could try, but nothing really sounds appealing. At least scrolling through options is more thrilling than your actual life. That sounds... Thanks for being a dick. Again. So I say that. It's okay to feel stuck. We can work through this together. I love it. You're showing that you're on their side. And you're showing them that this happens. That's actually a good answer. But pick one activity today and commit to it for 15 minutes. Your problem solving again. Please stay away from that. First session. Do an assessment. Try and understand it. So the best way to go about this is, hey, I'm here for you. We just met, but we're going to do this together. It's okay. Normalize what they're going through and be supportive to them. Thank you. I really need to hear that right now. There we go. Fulfill their needs. Again, it might not be the exact response that happens, but hey, my hobbies don't interest me and weekends feel like a chore. What if you scheduled one social activity for this weekend? Wow, weekends as chores, how tragically mundane for you. We're eliminating number 2 for obvious reasons. Just saying. Could this be connected to depression or a deeper issue? Try to stay away from diagnosing, especially in the first session. The only time you slap a diagnosis on the first session is if you got to do billing, which I don't do, because when I see you for the first time, we're doing consultation, and during that consultation, I'm getting to know you, getting to know your needs. But next time I see you, I'm giving you a diagnosis for billing purposes, because in order to charge your insurance or bill your insurance, they want a diagnosis. That's why we give a diagnosis when we see you. That doesn't mean that it stays with you for the rest of your life. Diagnosis can change, especially during discharge. But for purpose of insurance sakes, we're going to give you a diagnosis. But if they're paying out of pocket and stuff, fair game. You don't have to give them a diagnosis. Not immediately. Sometimes not at all. Sometimes a simple adjustment disorder is what they're going through. An adjustment disorder is a fair way of saying across 6 months, there have been changes in your life that's causing you to experience mental health symptoms. So just try to stray away from using diagnosis on the first time. Eliminate 1, 2, eliminate 3. What if you schedule one activity for this weekend? I still don't like this because we're problem solving. And it's an interrogation kind of question. I offer it with more compassion to make it good with me. Is it okay if you schedule one social activity this weekend? Is it, how do you feel about scheduling one social activity this weekend? Or rather, is there any reason we couldn't try anything new this weekend? Maybe, but I don't know who I'd even call anymore. That comeback is actually a bit realistic. Forgot everyone's number as they stop calling you back. Eliminate number 1 for obvious reasons. Start with one text to an old friend today. Once again, we're problem solving. Reconnecting can feel scary, but it's a brave first step. We're actually reflecting. We're putting some feelings in there. We're hearing them out to a degree. And we're not so much problem solving. We're just offering that notion like, hey, this can feel scary, but it's a brave first step. I understand how you feel, but I believe you can be brave. So let's go with 3. I appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. I'm feeling a bit more hopeful about making some changes. I believe in you and look forward to our next session. Remember, take that first small step before we meet again. Try not to bore yourself to death before next week. Number 3 is obviously the dick move, but in a way it can be humorous. It can be, but read the room. And if I'm saying that, you have to read the room, because I'm not good at analogies and like reading stuff. Remember, take the first small step before we meet again. This This puts some pressure on them, really, because they already said talked about the plan. I feel a bit more hopeful about making some changes. So we don't want to put that extra pressure on them. I believe in you and look forward to our next session. So let's be supportive. Let's offer some genuine feelings. And let's tell them we're looking forward to seeing them again. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. I gotta get used to these controls. I believe that's it. So we in the day we're going back to the elevator. Oh, the elevator is on the other side. I'm beating you out the office. That's how bad I want to. That's how bad I want to end my day. Okay. All right. Patients treated 3. Patients satisfied 3. Patients offended 0. Experience gained 28. Karma gained 9. Money earned 16. Money spent 0. Balance 16. Start a new day. All right. So far, I'm okay with this game. It offers the basics. The basics being CBT, because let's be real. That's all we've been doing so far. Simple talk therapy, and don't get me wrong, CBT is an effective tool, but what the hell is going on here? Oh, it's trash. Oh, there's trash in my office. It's a can of beans? Who is this sloppy in the therapy office? Where I put this? Oh, trash can. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and schedule our next clients. We got 15 minutes. Sarah Douglas, procrastination. Melanie Negrin, people pleasing. Oliver Ross, claustrophobia, interesting. Naomi Corona, health anxiety. Let's start today. Okay, so this must be Sarah Douglas. So, vitamin office. I wish I had a waiting room. I really don't, though. Oh, man. There's trash in... Okay, so that is realistic. There's trash in the room itself. I gotta look for that. All right. I keep putting everything off until the last minute, and it's ruining my life. What do you think triggers this pattern of delaying things? Sounds like someone's really committed to... Number 2 is obviously not it. Let's make a simple plan right now to tackle on one task today. Problem solving. Don't do it. Like I said before. So this game is repeating the same patterns, and that makes it really simple. Stay away from problem solving. Stay away from being a dick. And use paraphrase and reflection. So putting that into perspective, this is a really simple game for, I'm going to say, someone who knows the basics of therapy. And knows the basics of being a freaking human being, really. So let's not overthink it. Like it. So there's actual listening in this, and thinking about well, not that much thought behind the answers, but there's actual listening to this. And as long as you know paraphrasing, which is repeating the words in another way, repeating what you heard back in a different way, and reflection is giving them a feeling back with what you heard, then the client is going to feel heard. They're like, you can breeze through this game. But don't expect, if you're ever in this field, don't expect this to go this way. Or if you're looking at, if you're looking at this game and thinking this is what all therapy is, it's not. Because there are more complex issues that require more than CBT. And I say that because there are more issues that require more than CBT is because I've encountered people in other pieces of life, other Twitch streams, other online media that says therapy is not for them. It won't work for them. I like talking is, well, therapy is more than talking. Therapy is DBT. Therapy is Gestalt. Therapy, EFT, emotionally focused therapy. It's EMDR, emotional, like eye movement desensitization. It's synthetics. There's also other meta therapies that have been created by combining these therapy modalities to make something new. Music therapy, art therapy. There's no telling what modality might work for you. So before you give up hope saying that therapy doesn't work for you, I would challenge you to ask, what have you tried? And are you open to trying something else that's completely new? Because therapy is more than just CBT. And that's all I have to say on that, because you need to do your research and find out more in order to see. Go to Psychology Today and say, hey, even if that therapist can't take you on, like, can you refer me to someone who specializes in this, or this? They might connect you with someone else that might be your dream therapist. Let's get back to the game. Obviously, number one, we're getting to know them, waiting the minefield. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm just afraid of doing it wrong. Totally valid feeling. It happens. What happened if you started before you felt ready? Afraid of doing it wrong or afraid of actually succeeding? That fear makes sense. Let's explore it without judgment. What happened if you started before you felt ready? A valid question. But we're doing an interrogation question again. So let's stray away from that one. Just to elaborate, there's nothing exactly wrong with interrogation questions. It's just not my cup of tea as a therapist. What, when, why? When someone comes at me with that all the time, it feels like a lot. I believe it's a lot. I'm going to say I believe it's a lot. Get the feel like out of there. It feels overwhelming, and I believe it's a lot. So I would want someone to hear me out. Like, is there something we can do? Like, is there something we can do to support you? Is there a certain feeling that's inside you? And even if you're not a professional, I want you to connect with me at least on the basic level as a person that's hearing me out. So that's why we try to stay away from those interrogation words. Afraid of doing it wrong or actually succeeding. There's that or again. We're going to ignore that or because that gives us this an answer. Let's continue to wade the minefield. Let's hear them out. That fear makes sense. I hear you. That fear is not illogical. Let's explore it. I guess I could try, but what if I still can't do it? It's okay to feel uncertain. Small steps count as progress. There we go. Remember what I said. Even small progress is progress. And progress is a good thing. What's the smallest possible action you could take in 5 minutes? There we go, with problem solving again. Let's, or maybe you'll just find another excuse like always. Now you're just being a dick because this person might be trying, they might be suffering. So let's go with the first one. Thank you. I really need to hear that right now. There we go. The worst part is I know what I need to do, but I still avoid it. Oh. Knowing what to do and avoiding it anyway, that's pretty impressive, really. I don't even need to elaborate on that one. Choose one thing a day, commit to working on it for 10 minutes. There's a gap between knowing and doing. What fills that space for you? So, 2 is we're problem solving, telling them what to do. 3 is we're still getting to know them. Fear, mostly, and this voice saying it won't be good enough anyway. Now, I like that she said that because my style of therapy is synthetics. And in synthetics, what we do is that we personify that voice. We personify as the inner critic. Like, oh, your inner critic, it sounds like your inner critic is saying this. So tell me more about what else is it saying? Is there anything else to say? Well, like how long has that voice been there? What does it do? What does it do for you? What is it trying to protect you from? So that'll be my technique I would use right away here. But since this game doesn't explore techniques, we're still going with paraphrasing and reflecting. Wow, voice. We're eliminating number 2. That critical voice is harsh, but it doesn't have to control you. This kind of addresses what I want to, but not completely. What evidence do you have that this voice actually telling the truth? So 3 is telling you might be telling them something you already know. They already know. I mean, they're in your office to change anyway. 1, leans. That's why I'm liking 1. Is leaning to my technique. Like I want to know about that voice. I want to personify that voice. I want you to tell me more about what that voice been doing to you all your life. That's not how much of it. Let's just believe it automatically. Just give me something to concentrate to work with at least. Number 1, you're not listening. Number 2, small build from there. You got this. Supportive, giving them something to reach for. You have the tools now. Trust yourself to use them. Number 3 is kind of supportive, but you're putting. It's a little vague. You have the tools now. What tools? What tools did you give them? You didn't use any skills whatsoever. It's bothering me. It really is. I'm sorry. You didn't use DBT. You didn't use Gestalt. You didn't teach them mindfulness. You didn't teach them anything. You just been paraphrasing and reflecting. What skills have you given them? I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It gets me. It gets me that option is there because this game is like actively a poor example of what it means. I'm sorry if that hurt anyone's ears. I just clapped like that because I just saw the Blue Yeti thing go all the way red. But I lost my train of thought. Like I said last week, I need patience. And this kind of stuff I tolerate, but I shouldn't tolerate it because nothing bothers me like a therapist that doesn't listen or isn't appeasing their clients. Um, you didn't give them no tools. CBT has tools. You can give them something to work with CBT. You can ask them to journal. You can ask them to make lists, assign them a little homework. But we didn't do none of that. So we're not going to say you have the tools now. Trust yourself to use them because they're going to like what? We'll walk out of the office like, what tools? But let's tell them to start small and build from there and encourage them because hopefully next time this therapist gives them tools when they see them. I'll try. Thanks for guidance and support. Huh. I wish I made $200 per CBT session. I wish. Like, on a real. Okay. Milani Negrin. People pleasing. This is one that a lot of people relate to. So let's see how this game treats this one. Okay. Oh, I can turn the light switch on and off. Okay. All right. This is going to be the last one, by the way, because I have actual sessions to get to after this. I just can't say no to anyone. It's completely exhausting me. Oh, of course. When did you first notice this pattern of always saying yes? Valid question. It sounds like you're carrying a heavy burden trying to help everyone. Oh. We put a feeling into that paraphrasing. Taiwan just started to say no already. Number 3 is a no. So we're going to go with this one because you're feeling it. It sounds like carrying a heavy burden trying to help everyone. Like, oh, I feel you, girl. I guess I'm scared what people will think if I refuse. I wouldn't call them ridiculous, so we're going to eliminate that. What would have happened if you said, oh, just one small thing this week? That's problem solving. So let's ask them. This fear is very well. Let's validate their fear. Let's validate their fear. And let them know that we understand that. And you understand, I really need to hear that. There we go. My boss keeps piling work on me because I never fuse anything. Why do you think your boss chose you specifically for this dynamic? Sounds like you're just too weak to stand up for yourself. Number 2, eliminate it. Let's practice a script for declining your boss's next unreleasable request. Problem solving. But there's some technique in there. Do we need that technique now? Probably not. This is my first time seeing this woman. I want to understand her and what makes it difficult for her to say no. And plus, she doesn't seem to be asking for answers right now. So why do you think this? I guess never shown them I have limits or boundaries. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, how can you communicate your limits without fearing their reaction? Valid question. You're basically training them to walk all over you. That's not helping. But then again, that sometimes I'm not going to say that all these harsh answers are wrong because they're not. Some of them are stupid, but and not the best, but not exactly wrong. For example, this might be used as a throwaway humor, or it might be used for a client who wants you to be direct and not beat around a bush. So I'll say, so basically you trained them to walk all over you. And they may like say, well, I wouldn't say it like that. Like, but that's what it is, right? And they go, yeah. And some people need that harshness. Not all the time, but sometimes people need that harshness because she's a people pleaser. And so there is a danger of transference in talking to her because she might try to please me as a therapist and try to give me what she thinks I want to hear. So be careful of that too. Recognize it as a huge step toward creating change. That's acknowledging her needs. She pretty much said the answer. So acknowledge it. That means a lot. Thank you for believing in me. Just give me hope that things can be different. Number one, she doesn't need to hear that. Number two, set the boundary and report back to me next week. We didn't teach her or go over how to set boundaries. Again, we need to teach them tools. For example, if I were to talk about boundaries with my clients, I wouldn't say, oh, it looks like you like boundaries. I would show them bit by bit what I have called a boundaries chart. Actually, let me pull this up. I think it's a good time to do this. Because this shows there's more detail in what we do. So, I got it. Just give me a second. It just takes me a minute to oh crap. Okay, there we go. So I would want them to have it as a tool. And how I do that is I show them the types of boundaries to let them come to a realization that, hey, if this one boundary is bothering you, let's talk about how to set boundaries. And let's talk about what types of boundaries is. What type of boundary do you believe you're strongest in? What type of boundary do you believe you're weakest in? Like read this chart and tell me what you think about it. And then I want them to give me their thoughts. Because reading this, they are like, oh wow, I didn't know that there was this many types of boundaries. Like, yeah, there are 7 types of boundaries. And which one do you believe you're failing in right now? Or believe you need help with right now? We're not gonna say failing. And so that'll go a long way for them thinking about it. And then they can take this home. I send it to the image for them on their phone, email, or just print it out. And they can just read over it, study it, and like, okay, let me think about these boundaries. And so I believe that'll be a valid way of teaching them rather than just saying like, oh, let's set the boundaries and report back to me. You're like, because what did I teach them about boundaries? They might not know. So usually I set it up by asking them, how many types of boundaries do you believe it is? And they give an answer. I'm like, well, actually, there's this many. And let's learn about them. Do you want to learn about them right now? Let's take our time and learn about them right now. And this will be a more productive way of actually learning a skill to leave my office with. Like, yeah, if you want that, just look it up, boundaries chart, different types, and it'll be the first thing you come with setting healthy boundaries. You're right on the right path. Let's keep going. Thank you. I appreciate your support today. That's all we can get them. All right. Show them out of my office. Oh, wow. Okay, who's next? Oliver Ross, claustrophobia. Well, we're going to stop here. We're going to stop here, really, because I have clients. Thank you for the follow. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all got something out of this, because I want to talk more about I want to talk more about this game. It's really irking me. So we're going to do this again Wednesday. I like this. It's 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 making my butt itch, but it's gearing me up for today. It's going over the basics of therapy, basic CBT, and it's it's so far it's like it's repetitive, but it's a good exercise, I believe, and it's branched to other topics. So I hope to see y'all Wednesday, and remember, Unicorn Squad. I look I look forward to like seeing you every morning. I wasn't able to catch a lot, but glad I was able to catch a stream. Just catch me next time because I'm going to go live Wednesday and Friday on 8:30. Okay, and of course, like I said in other my other announcements, I'm gonna have a Discord to make sure I get the announcements out to everyone, and also to put some more topics on the table for y'all. And of course, you can go back and watch this and review me having a tangent about therapy and therapy simulator. But thank y'all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next stream. Y'all have a beautiful day. Okay?